Good day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Testing. Now, it's a bit of a different one today. So some of you may have noticed that this is a Testbash special. Yes, that's right, folks. I am live at Testbash in Brighton in the United Kingdom. So it's going to be a bit different than a regular This Week in Testing. So if you are a regular listener, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you're new to This Week in Testing, this isn't your typical episode, so do check out next week, but I encourage you to stick around. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to give you a bit of a run through as to what's been happening at Testbash Brighton. And this is a bit of an experiment. I'm going to walk around. I have a handheld microphone in my hand. I'm going to bump into some people on purpose, of course, respecting their space. And then I'm going to have a chat. And I'm going to find out from them what they've been making of Testbash. I'm going to ask them what some of their key takeaways have been, what it is they're learning, some insight that they can share with you, the listener, so you can get a sense of some of the things that have been learned at Testbash, so you can feel part of this experience. So thank you so much for tuning in. Do stick around. As this one is a live one and I won't be able to bring people up onto the audience, so up onto the speaker section. So if you do put your hand up, I'm afraid this time around I won't be able to bring you up on stage. But in the meantime, if you do want to do that, then please do come back next week and then normal service will resume. But for now, we're going to get stuck in. So let me describe where I am right now. So I'm on a moderately busy street. There's a lot of people walking around. The sun is shining. There's a beautiful blue sky. And I'm standing outside a wonderful building called the Brighton Dome. It's a great spot. Lots of history. Where do I start, really? I don't want to spend the whole episode talking about the Brighton Dome and its wonderful history. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is walk on through the area and get stuck in. So some lovely double doors, all wood panelled, lots of iconic imagery dotted around. I just need to show the security guard that I have a special wrist. Thank you very much. I'm in, that's great. I've got authority from the security guards to jump in, get stuck in. So as I walk in, let me try and describe what's going on. And apologies if there is a little bit too much background noise, but this is live at a conference venue. We have lots of swag for people. We have friendly members from Team Ministry of Testing who are giving out duck prizes. Yes, you heard right. Folks can find ducks across the venue. And if they find a duck, they can exchange that for a wonderful prize, such as a sticker, such as shoelaces or eye masks. All now with our new branding, the new Ministry of Testing logos. I'm also looking at some newspapers that we've got printed. So this has been a wonderful way to celebrate the community. We have printed a physical newspaper for everyone to take away with them today, and they can take that away for their teams. We've got lots of good articles from the community, lots of good ways of celebrating what people are contributing. Great, so that is the entrance area. Going to jump into what is called the Corn Exchange. This is where we are having lots of activities. We've got all our wonderful sponsors with us today. So we have the folks at X-Ray, we have the folks at Keysight, we also have Capital One, we have Source Labs, and we also have Postman. And we've got a jobs board as well. So the jobs board is there for folks who are on site today. They may see some opportunities up there. We've got lots of good spaces. Also got a company called 2i that are helping folks prepare their CVs and get advice as to how they can improve their CV and resume. So they're a wonderful team. So do go check out 2i Testing when you get the chance. So let's continue into the other side of the building. So what we have here is a wonderful space for people to kind of disconnect, or I should say reconnect with people that perhaps they haven't seen. We've got a desk here. Let me describe it to you. It has lots of labels on it and lots of stickers where people can pick up their name tags. I'm also looking at a blue screen. Well, it's a green screen and it is a photo booth. Um, so folks are having a lot of fun with the photo booth, which is great. We also have a desk from Epic Test Quest. Now, they are doing some awesome things and you must go check out what they're up to. Really, really good stuff, working on a new and very exciting tool. So do go check that out. I've just spotted someone. They're walking away from me, but I might try and catch them up. So Deanna, we are live on LinkedIn.
Hello.
So Deanna here is our event producer. So this is great timing. The first person to do today. It's just perfect timing. The wonderful Deanna Dromey, our events producer here at Ministry of Testing. And she's done a fantastic job of putting together Testbash. Not many too difficult questions for you today, Deanna, but what are your thoughts so far? We're on the middle of day 2.
I need my bed. That's the first one. No. Jokes aside, it has been a fantastic 2 days so far. Everyone is in really high spirits, and I think the whole thing has just gone superly well, and everyone is very happy about everything. So, goal achieved. All good, I think.
Thank you, Deanna. You've done an excellent job. So much stuff goes on behind the scenes to make these events happen. And Deanna is the legend who has been leading the way. So very, very grateful. But I will leave you to it. It looks like you're off to go and do something else. So I'll leave you to it then, Deanna, and we'll speak soon. Take care. Bye. Right, so I won't go up to the quiet space. I have a dedicated quiet space for folks if they need to kind of escape and essentially just go and get a bit of a break from what's happening here. I've just noticed on my screen that AJ Wilson has joined us. So AJ is part of Ministry of Testing, wonderful part of the crew. And as AJ is an admin, she gets instant access to join us on stage. But AJ won't be speaking with us today. It's just myself having a conversation with you, the listener, which I'm very grateful for. So what I'm going to do now, let's see if I can speak to these two chaps. Let me see. Sorry to interrupt your conversation. Ashutosh and Danny, we are live on LinkedIn. This is This Week in Testing. We still have a good connection. So, there you go. So, no cameras, it's just voice only. And I thought, Ashutosh, I could ask yourself what your experience has been like. And then, Danny, we can have a little bit of a chat as well, if that's cool. So yeah, Ashutosh, how's it been so far?
It has been really, really amazing, given this venue itself is very iconic. And I really like this community hall where we sat together, met so many different people. Every time I'm sitting around and it's so many different people coming from different parts of the world. It's just amazing. And particularly today, I like the food even. It was really nice. Maybe I was just very occupied yesterday in my head because of it was just before the talk and everything. Yes, and about the talks again, it's like really performing there because again, this is Brighton Dome is like iconic and it's been there for so many years. And I came all the way from Berlin. I don't even feel any tiredness or anything. It's just so much energy and so much love by people around that we share this sense of community. And yeah, thanks to MOT. Thanks for having me again today live for the first time, and see you around.
Thank you, Ashutosh. Wonderful. So yeah, folks who are familiar with This Week in Testing, Ashutosh often appears up on the stage at a This Week in Testing event. So it's very cool that we get to actually chat in person and we're not doing this virtually. Now I'm just going to do a quick check to see, yeah, I'm still connected. The Wi-Fi is holding up. So thank you to our audience for continuing to listen in. I'm going to chat with Danny Dainton. So Danny, what's your role here today and what are you up to?
So we again have sponsored the event, which we are happy to do every single time there is one. This is my, I can't even remember how many times I've been to Testbash now. It's been an incredible part of my life, and Debo, my colleague, has just jumped on my shoulder, which put me off a bit. So yeah, it's coming back to Testbash, coming back to Brighton. I've been to multiple Testbashes in multiple locations around the world, and this always feels like the spiritual home for me. Although it started in Cambridge for me, personally, it started in Brighton and at the Dome of all places, so come back here. So we, again, as I mentioned, we're sponsoring the event. We're running a mini workshop, 30-minute, just introduce people to some new features that we've released. So people who know Postman already, they're aware that they could use workspaces and collections. However, with new releases of our software, we push out things like Postbot, the Postman Vault, the Postman Package Library, and a number of other different features that maybe people might not be aware of just yet. But as they come more apparent and more visibility for those features in the product, then hopefully they can use them to better ability with their teams and collaborate more with their teams. So yeah, that's why we're here, and I'll always come back here. I love it.
Thank you, Danny. It's awesome to have you here. And yeah, lots of the sponsors, I was here earlier on yesterday, and just crowds of people around everyone's desk. So a lot of activities going on. And yeah, glad to have you here, Danny, and glad to have the Postman crew as part of Testbash this year. And we'll see you around, folks. I'm going to head off and have a little bit of a walk around and go and find some more folks to chat with. I'll see you soon. Right, just doing a quick data check. I can see that we're still connected. This is good news. Wonderful. So, who else do we have that is sat around? So I'm just walking back into the little area where folks can have some coffees and breaks. Oh, now I see two people sat at a desk. They're having a bit of a chat. I wonder if I can be rude and sit down and interrupt them. I wonder if that would be okay. Hello, the two of you. So I'm live on LinkedIn right now as Ministry of Testing. Would it be possible for me to interrupt you and ask you some questions, just to give a sense so that we've got a live audience across the globe listening in today, and they might want to hear what you've been up to and how things have been. So if I can ask a question, so how has your Testbash experience been? What would be one of your key takeaways so far?
Hi there, so I'm Sunil. Today I went to the Postman workshop. I was just telling Isaac actually, one of the really good features that they've just released is around packages and a new feature they've released is around packages and using common functions and referencing those in each of your Postman requests, and that was like a revelation for me. So really beneficial. Enjoyed the AI talks yesterday. Got some key learnings from there, and looking forward to the rest of the talks this afternoon.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And hello. I'm really sorry for interrupting you. We're deep in chat, but I thought. So yeah, what would be perhaps one of your key takeaways from Testbash so far?
Yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I think from today, day 2, I really enjoyed the talk about, it was kind of being introspective. So when you're working with a team and getting feedback, and also kind of how moods and behaviors can affect the team in general, and kind of like when you get feedback, when you get discussions, being able to kind of think about the pain points and thinking about empathy and both sides are kind of what you've been doing wrong or right, how you can effect change based off of the conversations. And I guess unrelated, the food has been great, so definitely come for that if you don't want to learn as well. So.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Yeah, the food's been awesome. It's like I described it as like being at a posh wedding, where you get like the real nice buffet and just no cheesy disco music and dancing, which is a shame, but I think it'd be next time. Absolutely. But thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you around. Enjoy the rest of your test bash. See you later. Okay. Oh, it looks like they're deep in conversation. I've just walked past 4 folks there. Right, who else we got? Wow. Now we have... Hello. I wonder if I can interrupt you. I know you're on. So, as ambassadors, we have some wonderful volunteers who are giving up their time to be part of Testbash and help us out. And there's lots of jobs to be done when you're running a conference like this. So it's so good to chat. I would love to find out about how your Testbash experience has been. So we are live on LinkedIn. This is This Week in Testing, and we have a bit of a global audience listening in right now. I'm just doing a quick check of our audio and data. Yep, all looking good. But yeah, so what's been one of your key takeaways at Testbash? And I'm just going to hold the mic near your mouth. 1 second.
So this has been my second Testbash. First time was a few years ago before COVID. It was here in this location, and I loved it. And I've been following Testbash since then. But this time I am joining as an ambassador, and I have to tell you, it has been wonderful. First of all, I'm really grateful that you guys accepted my help, but I'm proud of myself because I'm part of a nice community, and having the pink shirts, the Ministry of Testing shirts, also it makes people come to us, talk, and also makes it easier for us to go and talk to everyone else. And yeah, I've been trying to help everyone mingle and network, and yeah, being a catalyzer, pushing everyone to to just network and make new friends, new peers was the best thing, I think. That was my goal. I was like, I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna be an ambassador. I'm gonna try to create a nice environment, and yeah, But on the other side of the things I've learned, of course, the workshops and other talks that I've been to, they were amazing. I'm so glad. And finally, the fun parts, right? So the drinks, the social parts. Right now, I'm in the photo booth, and I have to tell you, it's been the funnest, the better. Yeah, I think the most fun activity was the photo booth, trying to get fun pictures of everyone, helping them with So yeah, more or less, that was my experience.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, and we're so grateful that you've been part of the ambassador team. The photo booth is hilarious. so just to give our listeners a bit of a description, we've got like a special camera set up. There is a green screen behind them. There's loads of props and stuff that people can put on. And then when they get their photo taken, they can email that photo to themselves or to whoever they like. They could spam someone with a photo of themselves having fun at Testbash, and they can also print out a copy to take away with them. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon. Bye. Rahul. Well, this is a first because I've known Rahul for a while, but I've never met him in person, and I've just bumped into Rahul Parwal, who's an absolute legend in the testing community. So we are live on LinkedIn. It's This Week in Testing. So the typical thing we run on every Friday, of course, which you've been part of many a time, coming up on stage. So I'm just going to do a quick check to make sure we're still connected. Yes, we are. The Wi-Fi is holding out, but I'm going around having little chit-chats with people and finding out what their experience has been. So Rahul, you've done lots today, and you've done lots yesterday. I guess let's start at a high level. How has your Testbash experience been so far?
So it has been a wonderful experience till now. It's my first international conference. The vibe at Testbash is special because it's welcoming. It calms you down, and I was a lot anxious that how will it be. But the moment I entered the hall, it was good. The crowd is supporting, and there is so much to learn from everyone. I mean, even if you walk across, you find so many folks, so many people who are really passionate about testing, about the craft, and you meet them, and it's like therapy for me. I mean, I'm loving it. Yeah.
That's wonderful, Rahul. We're so grateful for you being part of this and everything you do for the community. So, actually, whilst you're here, sorry, I will wait until you stop coughing before I pass the mic back over. But you've actually just launched, with Ministry of Testing, a new on-demand course available for our professional members. I wondered if you had 30 seconds just to briefly describe that course to our listeners, and so they can follow up if they're interested.
Yeah, so this course is about prompting for testers. With AI, generative AI coming in, prompting has become a hot topic. It's a buzzword now. And with this course, I want to simplify the process of prompting for testers for their use cases. It's how can you effectively communicate with AI? How can you effectively translate your ideas? And if you want to really take your AI experience to the next level, I think this could be the first step that you should try out. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Comes highly recommended. And yeah, it's so good to meet you in person. It's fun that we got to meet in this way, live on a LinkedIn this week in testing. But yeah, we'll chat some more a little bit later. But please do. Oh, that's very, very kind. I've just been gifted. Thank you so much. Take care, Rahul. We'll see you soon. All right. Oh, that's lovely. So Rahul has just gifted me a wonderful, wonderful item. A mirror with beautiful colors on it. That is very, very kind that he's just handed that to me. So I'm just going to pop that in my pocket. Oh, I've just seen a couple of people. I've seen Marie Cruz. I've seen Jenna, Charlton. I wonder, it looks like Marie and Jenna are about to chat, so I don't want to interrupt. But Jenna, if you've got a moment, we are live on LinkedIn. It's a This Week in Testing. Oh, we have an assistant's dog in the background there. So Jenna, if you have a moment, we are just on an audio call at the moment, but I wondered if I could get a few moments of your time to share a bit about your Testbash experience. So yeah, do you want to go and grab a seat? Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, we're just walking over to go and get a little seat. But whilst we're doing that, I'm just going to do a quick check of our data. It looks like we are still connected. And there might be a bit of background noise where we are, but hopefully that isn't interrupting your experience too much to listen in today. So thank you once again, folks. This is a Testbash special of This Week in Testing. A little bit different from normal. Cool. So Jenna and I, we've just managed to find a bit of a seat. So maybe, I guess we can come on to your experience of Testbash soon, because you've been involved in many ways. But I wonder, there are lots of ducks around the venue. And I wondered if you could explain to the audience who are listening today, what are all the ducks about?
So, all of the ducks. I might not know all of it, but I know that this is almost like a scavenger hunt. So you find the duck, you win a prize. I don't know why ducks, but I have a theory, so you can tell me if I'm right. I think that the ducks are all about like rubber ducking, which I personally do all of the time because I am ADHD and I'm also a really interactive thinker. So I think better when I have something to listen to me. Doesn't have to respond, doesn't even have to make eye contact. It just needs to be something I can physically like face and have a conversation with. So I've collected a couple of rubber ducks to take home that are going to be part of my rubber duck collection.
That's absolutely wonderful, Jenna. And that's it. Yeah, it's been so funny. And as kind of organizers and our ambassadors who we just met earlier on, we've had the role of hiding these ducks. And we've we started fairly creative, putting them in some places. Then some of the ambassadors have really gone for it. I've seen photos of ducks taped to the different ceilings. A duck ended up ending up on some really high part of a stairwell. That I thought, oh, health and safety. But people are having a lot of fun searching for the ducks. So Jenna, talking a bit more seriously, even though we don't have to get super serious, but just thinking about your experience, given your involvement in Testbash as well. What are some of the key things? Maybe one or two things you like to share about the experience beyond the ducks.
Beyond the ducks. So beyond the ducks, I have to say, my second testing conference was Testbash Philly 2017. And also shout out to Jenny Bramble, because I went and I saw her sitting there and she was a speaker and I was an attendee, but I saw her and I was like, she is my people. And I went and I sat down at her table and I looked at her and I said, we're going to be friends. And she's like, okay. And by the end of the conference, we were friends. And she's like one of my closest friends now. So Testbash for me is a couple of things. One, being a part of a UK Testbash that feels like, it is the original and it's the heart of everything. It's been a goal since I went to 2017 Philly. It's also been really good for me on an emotional level to see people that I love. There are people part of this community that have supported me and have helped me grow And right now, where I'm going through a career challenge, they're advocating for me. They're, sharing things about me. They're talking to their bosses about me. This isn't just a conference. This is a community, and this is really one of the most inclusive and warm and caring communities that is anywhere in tech. And it's really special, and the talks are fantastic, and the workshops are fantastic, but the people are even better. So yeah, I'm gonna tear up for a second. But being here is really special to me. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Jenna. I mean, yeah, to amplify your words, yeah, it's a wonderful community. Just as you say, we're all looking out for each other. Our role is, as an entire community, is to lift each other up, find opportunities, help people grow in their career and find themselves and find what works for them in their career. So it's kind of like, I guess the way you describe it, Jenna, it makes me think like a test bash is a manifestation of that kind of vibe and culture and the way things are with the community. And it's just so cool to me. I mean, it's the first time we've met in person, which is brilliant. Yeah.
Gosh, we've known each other like virtually for 10 years? Yeah, and this is the first time we've been in the same place at the same time. It's huge. But because administrative testing is so good at fostering community through all of the other ways that we connect, through virtual experiences, through Slack, through the club, through newsletter, like all of it, because you're so good at creating that community, I actually forget that we haven't met in person because it feels like we've been close friends or like close contacts for a long time. So yeah, I didn't even think about it that it's the first time we've met in person.
Yeah. It's cool. And I think I'm just going to do a quick data check. Yeah, we are still connected. I don't want folks to miss out on this one. We had a bit of an internet drop earlier on, so I don't know how much we lost, but we're good. And also, what about your kind of experience of, being a contributor to this particular test bash? How has that been for you?
So it's been great. One, this venue is awesome, and it's always nice as a contributor to be in a inspiring space. I was trying to think of the right word, but it's always great to be in an inspiring space. Also, there are a lot of conferences that don't think about all of the technical needs of contributors. A lot of conferences, like workshops, they don't have mics, but there was a whole setup in there for me. Like there was a mic, it was on a stand, I didn't have to hold it, it was right where all the cables were, like the space was set up for me. And when, as a contributor, if the space is right for you, you can deliver a better experience to the attendees. Plus, you all just do such nice things and do such a good job for us. I've been to conferences where like you don't even meet the organizers while you're there speaking, but here it's you all take such good care of us. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that's great feedback. And just maybe my final question, if that's okay. So as I know you love running workshops, you told me that before, and I absolutely can see why you love running workshops. This is wonderful. Was there anything, and if you're okay to share, anything that surprised you from your participants today?
I think what surprised me was, it didn't surprise me, but what made me really excited and happy was when people had light bulb moments. So we talked about things like skill inventories, and everybody was like, oh, okay, I get it. Then I said, by the way, do this for yourself. Like, evaluate your own skills and track it over time. You want to get promoted, you want to get a raise, identify what your skills are today, track what you're doing to grow them, track the change over time, tie it to SMART goals, and go to your boss and say, hey, boss, look at how much I grew this year. I deserve this. So like people had little light bulb moments when we talked about things like skill inventories, when we talked about creating diversity on a team, not just from the perspective of like gender and race and all of that kind of stuff, but from the perspective of skill mixing. And what does a team really look like when everybody has the same skills. You can't. You have to have that diversity of skills. So, we talked about how to do that and when that matters. And so there were a lot of little light bulb moments. So it made me excited. Yeah.
Well, Jenna, that's very cool. And it's a good feeling, isn't it, when you run a workshop and you kind of see like a slight facial expression change. Someone's like, oh yeah, hadn't thought of that. Even if it's like a non-verbal, hadn't thought of that kind of experience, it's wonderful. Well, Jenna, I'm going to leave you to it. Thank you so much for your time. Sorry for just suddenly like kind of grabbing you and saying, hey, let's chat. But it's been wonderful talking to you. I'm going to mooch around a little bit more, go and chat with a few more folks. I'm just going to do a time check with our listeners today. And we've got about another 20 or so minutes. So I'm going to get up and walk around and see what happens next. But thank you so much, Jenna. We'll see you around. Take care. Bye. Bye. Okay, everyone. Well, that was lovely to hear from Jenna Charlton. They're an awesome human. Okie dokie. Oh. I've just spotted Rosie Sherry. Let's see if I can interrupt and say hello to Rosie Sherry. So for our listeners, if you don't know Rosie Sherry, Rosie is the founder of Ministry of Testing and our CEO. So this is wonderful timing to bump into Rosie. So hi, Rosie. We are live on This Week in Testing. You might be familiar with what This Week in Testing is. I'm just going to do a quick data connection to make sure we are still connected. We had a bit of technical issues earlier on. Yet we are still connected. So Rosie, as the creator of Ministry of Testing and the creator of Testbash, how has it been for you over the last couple of days?
It's been amazing, exhausting, absolutely exhausting, but the team have been great, including you, Simon. But I've taken the role of just walking around pretty much for the past few days, observing, speaking to people, and for me that's just been great to do that. And I feel like the community is here, like the ambassadors have been great in pulling everything together. The MOT team has been great, and just obviously like all the speakers coming down and new people coming down. It's great to be back in Brighton and just see new faces and meet people again.
Well, thank you for sharing, Rosie. And if you could give some advice to folks who are like, they're a little bit unsure how to get involved in community, and they want to get stuck in with a testing community such as Ministry of Testing. Of course, I can highly recommend it, as I would. And of course, our listeners, you are part of that community because you're with us here today, which is wonderful. But if people want to kind of contribute more, they want to find their place in the community, what sort of things would you recommend they do?
I'd recommend finding what you feel comfortable with. Obviously, like there's the conferences that we do, and people feel a bit overwhelmed coming. But the feedback, generally speaking, at Testbash has been that everyone's really friendly. It's like people are walking around, the groups are open, you can jump into conversations. There's lots of activities to do, but there's also things that you can do on your own. You know, if you don't want to talk to people, you can drop in a talk. So you know, there's enough for everyone. There's also the meetups that we run that are community-led, so you can go to ministryoftesting.com/meetup, see if there's one close to you. And then, you know, online. Social media is a bit hard these days, but Ministry of Testing is here, and we're trying to connect people online, and I think the more we can do that, the better the whole industry will be. I think Rahul today was great with his talk. He was talking about portfolios, building your own portfolio and just getting out there, doing things, and not overthinking things, and just like, you know, creating stuff, and like that leads to attraction, that leads to new things if you get out there. If you don't get out there, people don't know that you exist, and Yeah, and I guess like the philosophy of Ministry of Testing at the moment is start small, iterate, and things will come.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Rosie. I'm glad you're having a great experience. And thank you, on behalf of the community for setting up Ministry of Testing. Like, if it wasn't for you, your energy, your creativity, and your strategic thinking, and your get up and go, none of this would happen. So we're very, very grateful on behalf of the community. And it's amazing to see this all come together. And thank you for sharing your advice and thoughts today. So I'm going to have a little mooch around. Oh yeah, I could have a chat with James. I'm just going to do a quick time check. We should be good. Let's see if I can get a bit of James's time. No, I've had a little bit of a head shake that says no, so I'm going to move on from that. But here we go. Thank you, Rosie. So I'm here with James Wadley. So James is an awesome part of the community, highly active on the Slack, has lots of good things to share, and is also a bit of a meme meister as well. So there's lots of great memes coming from James. If you haven't seen them already, if you are a professional member or you're a contributor or you have attended a test bash, you can get access to the Ministry of Testing Slack. And we've also recently launched our memes. So if you look in the footer of ministryoftesting.com, look for the link for memes and you can check them all out there. While we think they're fun, of course they're fun and makes us giggle. There's also often a serious message and a story behind those memes. So it's important to check them out. It's another way for us to communicate as a community. But enough from me. Let's have a little chat with James. So James, a question for you. Have you met anyone for the first time?
Yeah, I've actually met quite a few people for the first time. And one thing that I've been saying to a lot of the people here is I actually consider myself to be quite an introvert. But the Ministry of Test events, I find it's really easy to speak to people, really easy to approach people. So I've actually gone above and beyond this year of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. And there's faces that I've seen on LinkedIn and faces that I've seen on the Slack channel and things like that. That I've purposefully approached them and said, I recognise you from LinkedIn or wherever I've seen them. And a prime example was Karen from Karen Test Stuff. I bumped into her earlier, first time I've ever spoken to her. Really pleasant, really nice, very approachable, and there's just great conversation. And there's so many I can't even remember their names, so I'll have to really sit down and think about it. But yeah, it's been fantastic. Like, everybody is just so approachable.
Well, thank you, James. And if you can think back to one of the talks or the workshops that you've been to, is there perhaps one kind of key takeaway or piece of advice that sort of sticks out that our listeners might appreciate today? And if there isn't one coming immediately to you, no worries. But if there happens to be one, I think our listeners would love to hear that from you.
I think the information that's coming from a lot of the talks that I've been to is quite overwhelming. It takes time to process. There was one, I think I quite enjoyed the talk that Tom. That was really good. Staring at me in the background. He was talking about some BDD concepts and about using the tools, using the concepts but not the tools. And I thought that was a really interesting point that he was making, that the tools can sometimes cause more problems than they solve. But the concept of using BDD can actually help. So being able to split the two apart was something that I'd not really considered before. But yeah, that kind of stuck in the back of my mind.
It was good to hear, I think, during the Q&A with Titus, he was very vocal about his thoughts about the topic of BDD, which can often cause some conversations in the community, let's put it that way. Well, James, it's been absolutely wonderful speaking with you today. I'm glad you're been such a big part of Test Bash this year. And we'll see you around the community, and thank you so much for your time. I'm going to have a bit more on and see if I can find someone else to follow and have a little chat with. But thanks so much, James. I'll see you around. Cheers. Okay. So it looks like we are still connected. This is... it looked like it just jumped then, but I've just done a double. So apologies that I keep needing... that we are not dropping our connection. I want to make sure this is happening. And yeah, so I'm back in the Corn Exchange. Now, I would love to have the history of the Corn Exchange, but I don't. But what I can describe is a wonderful building, massive high-rise, kind of like the inside of a church, with lots of wood paneling, lots of archways, very iconic windows. And this is where folks have been having their lunches. We've got all the activities and our sponsors in. And I wonder if I could interrupt Hannah for a moment. We are live on LinkedIn, this week in testing, our weekly event. So we've got a global audience now listening in. I'm just checking our connection. It's all good. So I'm just having little chit chats with folks around Testbash to see what their experience has been like. So what's 2i been up to? 2i testing, what have you been up to today?
Wow. So, do I hold this? Yeah. Amazing. Hello, everyone. 2i. So we have been hosting some career drop-in sessions. We have invited anybody to come and ask us questions on 2i. We're a quality engineering and test consultancy. For anyone who doesn't know, please look us up on LinkedIn. You can drop me a connection request as well if you'd like to chat in a bit more detail. But we've had some really good conversations with people who are looking for a role or just want to find out a bit more about 2i. It's been really great. Thanks.
Wonderful. No, that's great. So has there been any kind of conversations that have surprised you? Any questions maybe that you'd not considered, or anything where you're sort of spotting certain trends, similar questions coming from people?
I think the one thing that's been quite surprising is people coming with their career experience. For example, we had a fantastic conversation with somebody who had recently made the transition away from leadership and management into a more technical hands-on role, and they had perceived their experience as a step down. So that was a really interesting conversation, which I didn't expect, potentially reflective of the market as well, as there's a lot less leadership positions available, and those kind of roles are being made a bit more redundant in companies. So people are changing what their perception is of their career, and looking for different routes and avenues. But that was a great conversation. It surprised me because it was how that person had viewed it, as a step down rather than a step to the side, or as an enhancement to their career. So the wonderful David Williams, who has been part of the 2i testing crew, he has recently been a new hire for us from a leadership standpoint. David had a chat with this person and helped them reframe it as a real positive experience. That was the most interesting, I would say. Yeah.
That's fascinating, and it's like kudos to yourselves for helping that person kind of see it from a different perspective, where they can reframe it and go, actually, this is to an advantage. This is great. Wonderful. And just finally, whilst we're chatting in person, you also lead a community yourself. I would love it if you have 30 seconds to introduce that community. I appreciate I'm putting you on the spot, but I thought it's great. We want to get this community out there for folks. So yeah, if you can introduce it, that'd be great.
Of course. So the community Simon is referring to is Women in Test. Women in Test was created at the start of this year by myself and Nikki Ironside-Skeen, who is incredible. She's a VP of Quality Engineering for a global bank. We started Women in Test to be a safe space for women to share their experiences of what it's like to be a woman in technology, but also specifically in testing. We did a lot of research into, do these communities exist? And they do, but not necessarily publicly. So Nikki and I felt there was a real opportunity to create a public space where we can talk quite openly at events. We can invite women from the community who maybe don't feel like they have a voice internally, or as part of a network that they potentially already have. They can build a network with Women in Test. So it's open to anyone. Women in Test is not just for women. It is for men, it's for allies, it's for anyone who would like to hear more about the challenges that women face in technology, specifically in testing, and how we can change the narrative.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing today. And and thanks for being part of Testbash. It's awesome that you're part of this. We hope you have more good conversations with the rest of the folks here, and enjoy the rest of your day. We shall see you around. And enjoy. I'm going to go and mooch off and see who else I can interrupt. Oh, goodness me. Be good to see Emily, because Emily has spoken at This Week in Testing a number of times. She's come up on stage. I do wonder, I'm conscious I don't want to put Emily on the spot. She might not appreciate that, but I'm going to try and see if I can go over there and get the thumbs up. That's it. I've got to go. I've got to go over. Cheers. We'll speak soon. See you later. Okay, folks, I'm just going to do a quick time check. So, we've got about 8 or so minutes to go. Looks like we are still connected. Now, is Emily... Oh, it looks like Emily's chatting to Freire, one of our other sponsors here today. Emily, it's wonderful to bump into you here. So we are live on LinkedIn. It's just audio. So it's This Week in Testing, where you have been up on stage a number of times. So you are wearing some awesome white trainers. They are Converse All-Stars. They have got Ministry of Testing laces. Very cool. You are wearing a pink dress. You have a pink T-shirt with a Ministry of Testing logo. And on your back, oh my goodness me, it is a rucksack with a bug on it. I mean, so we've just found a bug, everybody. We've just found a bug. So, Emily, I would love to hear about... first of all, thank you, because you are an ambassador and you've been doing an absolutely amazing job. Lots of very good jobs, including hiding a number of ducks in an incredible location. So we had a chat with Jenna earlier on about the ducks. We had a good laugh that they were in so many different places. But would you mind sharing perhaps one thing that you've taken away from this test batch?
I can't limit it to just one thing. That's such a difficult question. Okay, if I could stop you so you could have that one, please. By the way, I've never spoke to you face to face like this before. It's such a different experience to usually you join on LinkedIn, you're whooshed up onto the stage, and then it kind of like does a little tone to say, but you can speak. In person, we've got a microphone, and it's such a funny setup. So I chose to be an ambassador because it means more people are going to be invited to speak to you and ask you random questions, and people are just really open to chat to you and things like that. I think this time around I've met about 20 people who I've only ever known as online personalities. So because I don't visualize, I find it really difficult to connect somebody's name and their profile picture or avatar to their real life human. And so I found myself in conversations with somebody. I had a few moments where I've just gone, oh, I know you. So one example, I met Melissa in person. I've watched hours and hours of her online talks, and I've read various things she's done online, which is just super great, but never, met her face to face. And it's so weird because you have a parasocial relationship with these people. If somebody is an excellent speaker, like Melissa is, when she speaks to the audience, when she delivers that talk, you feel like she's talking to you on an individual level. I definitely find her stuff really relatable. But I have to remind myself she's not just speaking to me. I'm just one person in the audience, and everyone kind of has that thing. One of the tasks I've been doing as an ambassador is mic handling for the Q&As. And it's really difficult because I always want to ask a question myself. We only have 15 minutes after every speaker to get through as many audience questions as we can. And so I can't take the opportunities. I've got to, hand it over to somebody else who's in the community. Something that surprised me about this time around is just how many newbies there are. We asked on the first day who's never been to a testing conference before. There's tens of hands all around me. And then today we had one person, so they've been given coloured wristbands according to the day that they're attending. And there's some people who've only come for today, so they've missed out on all the AI talks from yesterday. We've just got Rosie filming us now. Loads of people attending on their own, which they're just here to network with the wider testing community. But I don't think anybody feels alone in any sense at all. They've just come along, made conversation about something that they've seen or whatever. We've all got different experiences and loads of things to share. I have not spoke to a single person that said they've not got a 99-second talk idea. So I think what we're going to have to do is try and encourage people to just record like verticals and submit them. And then, maybe we could do a roundup of those in future This Week's in Testing. Somebody that I met today, somebody that I already know but I saw today was Addy Stokes, so our accessibility champion. And he told me that he could help me edit a blog post for Ministry of Testing. So I ripped off some of the paper. What's this called?
Oh, the flip chart.
The flip chart paper. It's like a scroll. So I've written out just all my ideas in a jumbled fashion, and Addy's going to help me to convert that into structured, grammatically correct paragraphs as a blog post on out of hours.
Running automation suites out of hours?
No, sorry. Like when I go on holiday, I would write handover documents for people and how that affects like the tester development team relationship if they don't think they can do testing in my absence. So let me hand you this back.
That's cool. We'll do a switcheroo. Thank you so much, Emily, and I really appreciate you sharing today. It's great to get your insight and great to kind of get a sense of your experience of Testbash and what you've been up to. And we're forever grateful that you've been an ambassador and properly... No, and we're very grateful that you're so loud and have lots of opinions. It's brilliant, 100%. I mean, I think something we've noticed, you've always coming up with good ideas of like, maybe we could do that, and like on the fly, which has been great, because we take to that feedback straight away, because we want to ensure that all attendees and people who are contributing have a good experience over the 2 days, and also leading up to it and afterwards. So, thank you very much.
The teams that I work with, I always say. I have 100 ideas an hour. Only 10% of them will be good. So I just, say as many things as I can to see what people are receptive to. So,
I love it. 100 ideas an hour, miles per hour, ideas per hour. There you go. It's a great measurement. Yeah. I love it. Wonderful. Well, enjoy the rest of your Testbash experience. Thank you so much again for being part of it. And we'll see you around the community and perhaps another This Week in Testing. If you got one more thing, here we go.
I'm speaking at Ministry of Testing Leeds at the end of the month. It's a Thursday, maybe the 26th. And I'm sharing the stage there with Steve Meller, who works at Rock, and we're doing talks both based around quality engineering. So I'm looking forward to that.
Wonderful. Well, have a great time. And folks, if you aren't familiar with Ministry of Testing Meetups, you can head over to ministryoftesting.com/meetups. You can see where all local communities gather across the globe. Do try and get involved. Try and find your closest one. And perhaps if you can't find one, do consider setting one up yourself. Find a couple of people that are up for it. Perhaps get your company to sponsor and host the space. But get in touch. There's a link on that page to inquire about how you can go about setting up a meetup. Emily, thank you so much for your time today. I'm going to go and mooch off. I think I've got time for one more person, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Actually, I've just done a time check, and we do have to wrap up for today. This is unfortunate timing, but I think I might be able to. Let me just see if the audience is still with us, and we've still got connection. Yes, we do. I think what I'm going to do, the last person I'm going to speak to today. The last,
amazing, the incredible Simon.
Thank you very much, Sérgio. So I'm standing next to the X-Ray stand, one of our wonderful sponsors today at Testbash. So we have a global audience right now. We are live on This Week in Testing. We are live. It's okay. We've had a few swear words, but let's try and hold off from the swear words now. So we're just on audio. We've got a wonderful audience with us. So I guess a couple of questions for you. So first of all, how has your Testbash experience been so far?
It has been like a bit overwhelming. I mean, the first day was incredible. A lot of people. I I started by sitting next to a person that immediately recognized me. Sérgio, glad I saw you. I have a question for you. Oh, I was like, oh, come on, give me some time. But it's very, very interesting because then we are able to exchange some ideas, and actually that person had like a challenge, and we figured out a way of overcoming it. Besides it, most of the event so far has been with doing like some demos, but also engaging in side conversations that I like. To know more about people, some people that we usually interact through the internet, and that here we have the opportunity to meet live, understand a bit more about how they are, understand a bit more what they are looking for, and their difficulties. So share experience, basically. I think that's also the idea here, is to exchange ideas and also understand a bit where people want to go, or understand a bit if we can help them somehow. Yeah, we can help one another, so I think it's also a learning experience, besides the talks, of course, and the workshops. Unfortunately, I was not in any workshop this time. Last time I usually do the workshops, but I was here mostly supporting the team and having these side conversations that I think are really important.
Yeah, absolutely important, and I appreciate you sharing that. I bumped into someone in the lunch queue yesterday, and I said, "Oh, how's it going?" And he's like, "Oh, it's cool to chat with X-Ray." Like, they had lots of questions, and I was like, "Oh, just make sure you get their email addresses or connect with them on LinkedIn. Make sure that you can go direct, and if you've got any queries about, the service and tooling that you provide."
I think it's really important to meet, let's say, the live people. What is like behind the domain, right? Or behind the getxray.app. So there are real people there, and actually for me that interact a lot with the community online. It's also very important that to interact with them directly. So they have real questions, and here we have the opportunity to understand them more in person, understand them better, and also help them towards directly the contents that we have in order to support their needs.
That's wonderful, Sérgio. And we're very grateful as Ministry of Testing for X-Ray to continuing to support the community and Testbash. And enjoy the rest of it. And I think I'm going to head off over there to go and wrap things up today. But I'm so glad I got to speak to you at the end and to wrap up this week in testing. And we'll see you soon. And bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Sérgio. Right, folks. Well, I'm just going to get to that stage. Oh, my goodness me, the hour does go very, very quickly, and we have just gone over. So thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with us. I really hope this has given you a bit of a sense of what happens at a test bash. I do appreciate it's hard to convey that in this type of environment. Appreciate there's lots of background noise and all of that stuff that might kind of interrupt your experience. But yeah, perhaps one day, perhaps you've already been to a test bash before, but you just couldn't make it this time round. We totally get that. We totally understand that. But there is another test bash. It's happening next year. It's already booked in 2025, October the 1st, October the 2nd. It's in Brighton. It's in this very venue that I've just been describing earlier on today. So you can head over to ministryoftesting.com. Do go to our events page. There's a link at the top and have a look. You can get in there early, commit to it, and you go, you know what, I want a bit of that experience that I've attempted to capture during this week in testing. I'm very grateful for you sticking with me today. Apologies for the internet connection problems earlier on. I'm glad that you stuck around. And normal service will resume next week. There will be a regular this week in testing back to the 1 hour before that. So that's 1 p.m. British summertime for next week. You can go and register now. That's open to everyone. But in the meantime, do head over to ministryoftesting.com. And also for all of our professional members, over the following weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks' time, you will get access to all of the talks that have happened here at Testbash. We are recording them. We get them nicely edited. They will be available as part of your professional membership. It will add to the collection of a considerable number of talks on many, many important testing topics. So do keep a lookout for that. We will make sure we heavily promote the fact when those talk recordings are available to all our professional and unlimited members. Okay, folks, I'm going to sign off now. Sorry you didn't get a chance to come up on stage today, but we can do that next week. Please do enjoy the rest of your day, wherever you may be, and I wish you a wonderful weekend. Bye for now.